Every time I see her demanding to be called Duchess of Sussex, I laugh. Nobody in Britain calls her that. Meghan Markle. She got lucky, met her prince, dragged him out of the bosom of his family, dragged him away from the monarchy.
January 2026 lit up every TV screen when Piers Morgan went off on live TV. Again, the same man who lost his spot after clashing over Meghan Markle came back louder, sharper, and with receipts. And the timing? Terrible for Meghan. She had just launched her shiny new Netflix cooking show, picture perfect and polished, when Piers swooped in like a hawk ready to shred. The photos, the mood, the whole setup, he tore it all apart on Piers Morgan Uncensored. He barely lasted 10 minutes before switching it off, calling it unwatchable and mocking it as the ultimate vanity project. He accused the show of being packed with staged moments, fake smiles, and carefully arranged shots Meghan tried to pass off as real.
What did you make of that, Jordan, to be suddenly appearing on Meghan Markle's podcast as a villain
the first
who was
thing I
calling women crazy?
And that's what made his words hit harder than usual. Piers isn't just some random critic shouting for clicks. He actually knew Meghan before she cut him off after meeting Harry, which gives his take some serious weight. When Piers said, "The photos reveal who Meghan really is," people paid attention. He's seen how she moves, how she shapes her image, and how she controls her own story. So when he breaks it down live, it lands different. This wasn't a gossip session. It was a public takedown. What Piers dropped on air could seriously shake the image Meghan's been building for years. The moment her Netflix series dropped, he said he had to watch it, not out of interest, but because he knew it'd be comedy gold for his show. Piers admitted, "I tried watching it, and after 3 or 4 minutes I was done. It was just unwatchable." Later he joked that he managed 10 minutes tops, but still couldn't finish an episode.
There they are. They're straight there, and I'm afraid I'm very cynical. I think it's purely for PR. It's purely for self-promotional reasons. They just want to be seen to be a rival royal family who are doing what the royals do, but they're not royals anymore. They don't do anything to earn the title.
That alone says plenty about how rough it was. He described it as the ultimate vanity project, saying the whole thing was just people hyping Meghan while she hyped herself. Every frame, every guest, every moment, all designed to glorify her.
I believe in freedom of speech. I believe in the right to be allowed to have an opinion. If people want to believe Meghan Markle, that's entirely their right. I don't believe almost anything that comes out of her.
Imagine a cooking show where the food doesn't even matter. It's all about promoting brand Meghan, not the recipes. Piers noticed that right away because he knows her playbook. Then he hit the visuals, and this is where it stung. Meghan filmed the show in what looked like her cozy Montecito home. Calm, warm, personal. Except, according to Piers, it's not even her house.
And if it means I leave a show that I love, that's on fire and doing great in the ratings, so be it. And I've never regretted that, because actually sometimes in life you've got to stand up for what you believe in and don't let other people try and bully you in the way that I was. Meghan Markle wrote to the boss of the network.
I know.
He claimed the place was borrowed, which blew up her whole real and authentic image. He pointed out that every shot looked straight out of a luxury ad. Flawless kitchen, perfect lighting, expensive gear, every angle planned.
By the way, is going to celebrate the joys of cooking, or at least something she's doing. Her Netflix show, I guess, is going to celebrate the joys of cooking, gardening, entertaining, and friendship, Piers. She's going to be teaching us how to be a good friend.
Well, as one of the many friends that she cut off.
This isn't casual living, he said, calling it fully staged. And the content? Basic. Making coffee, baking a plain cake, all presented like groundbreaking moments. Piers laughed about it, saying it's wild to treat simple things like coffee making as if they're revolutionary. To him, it showed exactly what the show was trying to sell. Not lifestyle lessons, but an image. Even the flower arranging scenes caught his attention.
Meghan Markle has renewed her bitter feud with Piers Morgan. So you'll remember the pair have been at war after Meghan ghosted the ITV host who she had sparked a friendship with in London.
Meghan slowly placing blooms into vases like she just invented floral art, all framed like pure genius. Simple hosting moves turned into staged inspiration. And that, Piers said, is the real trick being played here. You can spot the pattern instantly. Every frame feels perfectly staged to make Meghan look creative, elegant, and effortlessly classy. But when you strip it down, she's just doing normal things, pretending they're special because she's the one doing them. That's the illusion Piers keeps calling out. Then came the moment he said exposed her whole mindset. An exchange with her friend, Mindy Kaling. Mindy joked that people wouldn't believe Meghan Markle eats at Jack in the Box. Totally harmless, right? But not to Meghan. She instantly jumped in to correct her, saying, "It's so funny that you keep saying Meghan Markle. You know, I'm Sussex now." Not Meghan. Sussex. She wanted the title, not the name. Piers jumped on that moment immediately. He said, "I come from Sussex in England. It's a county with millions of people." His point? Calling yourself by a place name sounds absurd when you really think about it. And here's where it gets wild. Meghan and Harry said they left royal life to escape pressure, control, and the spotlight. They wanted peace and privacy. Yet now she's on Netflix, reminding her own friend to use a royal title. According to Piers, that shows the truth. Without the title, the magic disappears. Without it, she's just another actress who married into fame. And that's the contradiction he put under a microscope. The camera didn't miss a thing either. Meghan's face when she corrected Mindy, that tiny flicker of irritation that someone dared use her real name, unscripted, raw, and telling. Once that moment hit film, it spoke louder than any speech could. Now, here's why Piers' criticism hits different. This isn't just another media guy ranting. There's history here. Piers met Meghan back in 2016 after she reached out to him on Twitter saying she was a fan. They messaged for weeks and built what he thought was a real friendship. Eventually, they met in person at a London pub. He's described it clearly. "We had 2 hours in the pub. She had a couple of dirty martinis and we got on brilliantly." Everything seemed genuine until that same night. Piers put Meghan in a cab that took her to a party where she met Prince Harry. The next evening, she had dinner with Harry. And after that, silence. Piers never heard from her again. No call, no text, nothing. He later said, "I really liked her. That's why it hurt. I just think she's a bit of a social climber." And that's what makes this personal. When Piers drags Meghan's Netflix show, he's not doing it as some random critic. He's doing it as someone who knew her before the fame. He saw how she operated, how fast she dropped people once they stopped being useful. That's why his words sting more. Meghan can't just wave it off as hate because he's not guessing. He's seen behind the curtain. And when he calls her new show a vanity project, it's not just an insult. It's a breakdown of how it's built. Every frame, every scene exists to promote the Meghan, or should we say, Sussex, brand. Each episode paints her as flawless, adored, and inspiring. Piers summed it up perfectly, calling it the ultimate vanity project. People telling Meghan how great she is, and her telling them the same. That's not storytelling. That's self-promotion in high definition. The Netflix shots prove it. Meghan laughing with celebs, arranging flowers, pretending to prep like a lifestyle icon, every detail polished to perfection. If you really study those images, it hits you fast. Every frame looks too perfect. The lighting, the angles, her flawless makeup. Nothing looks spontaneous. These aren't raw, real-life moments. They're full-on photo shoots dressed up as casual living. Piers spotted it right away. He knows what real unscripted scenes look like, and this wasn't it. Compare it to an actual cooking show. Things spill, chefs get messy, there's chaos and laughter. But Meghan's show, it's a filtered fantasy built to look natural while every second is carefully staged behind the curtain, and that's what gives Piers' new takedown extra weight. This is the same man who lost his Good Morning Britain job after refusing to back down about Meghan. Remember back in 2021 when Meghan and Harry sat down with Oprah? She said she felt suicidal and accused the royal family of racism. The next morning, Piers went on air and said, "I don't believe a word she said. I wouldn't believe it if she read me a weather report." That comment exploded. Over 58,000 complaints poured in. Even Meghan herself contacted ITV. Things went nuclear when his co-host confronted him live, accusing him of bashing her because she cut him off. Piers stood up, said, "I'm done with this," and walked off set mid-show. Hours later, he officially quit Good Morning Britain. Months later, Ofcom cleared him, ruling he hadn't broken any rules and was within his rights to voice his opinion. But by then, his TV career had already taken the hit. So when Piers goes after Meghan's Netflix show now, it's not just another opinion. It's coming from someone who already lost everything for saying what he thought was true. That's why his new attacks sting. He's got nothing left to lose. Now let's dig into what Piers says everyone's missing when they see those glossy Netflix photos. At first glance, the show looks elegant. Cozy kitchen, calm vibe, soft light. But when you look closer, the illusion cracks fast. First clue, that mansion. Every scene screams wealth and serenity, showing off a typical Montecito dream home. But according to Piers, it's not even Meghan's house. He claimed the estate was borrowed just for filming. And that changes everything because Meghan's whole image is built on authenticity. She's selling this as her personal world. But if the home isn't hers, the whole thing's staged. Then there's the styling, and it's too perfect to miss. In every shot, her hair stays flawless, her makeup never shifts, her outfits look coordinated to the color palette. The lighting isn't from a kitchen window, it's studio grade. That's not home cooking. That's a full production with glam squads, lighting crews, and directors calling the shots. And look at the staging. Every flower looks artfully arranged. Every ingredient sits like it was placed by a designer, and not a crumb is out of place. That's not what real cooking looks like. Real kitchens get messy. Real chefs make mistakes. Real moments aren't picture perfect, but not one imperfection shows up here. Piers broke all of this down on live TV, exposing every angle, every setup, every photo for what it really was. A controlled image machine. And what made it land harder? He's been warning people about this for years. Back in 2016, long before she married Harry, Piers called Meghan a social climber. People tore him apart for it, said he was jealous, bitter, obsessed. But now, years later, his warnings seem sharper than ever. After Meghan married Harry, she distanced herself from family. Friendships faded, and Harry's bond with his brother cracked. They quit royal duties, moved to California, and started building brand Sussex. Every single move since then has followed the same pattern. Polish the image, control the narrative, and sell the story of perfection. According to Piers, everything is unfolding exactly like he predicted. Strategic friendships, image control, fame and money first, loyalty second. So when he calls Meghan's Netflix show fake, he's not guessing. He's saying this is proof he was right all along. Some people might wonder why it matters if Piers hates a cooking show, but this goes way beyond taste. Millions watch his show, millions follow him online, and when he said he couldn't even sit through Meghan's series, calling it unwatchable and pure self-worship, that hit hard. That kind of review can crush a brand. Netflix paid Meghan and Harry a massive deal, and this show is part of it. If people skip it, If reviews tank, it threatens their future with the platform. Public image is everything, and Piers' takedown shapes that perception fast. Think about it. If someone who personally knew Meghan says he couldn't last 10 minutes, viewers hesitate. They scroll right past. That's exactly what Meghan didn't want. What makes it sting even more? The photos Piers mocked weren't leaked or random. They were the official Netflix promos, the best shots Meghan and her team handpicked to represent her show. Yet Piers looked straight through them and saw staging, not sincerity. He said he saw a woman working hard to look relatable while surrounded by lighting crews and assistants inside a borrowed mansion. When he saw the shot of Meghan making coffee, he didn't see depth or calm living. He saw someone trying to turn a simple task into a headline moment. When he looked at her arranging flowers, he didn't see warmth or creativity. He saw aesthetics over authenticity. And when he saw her laughing with celebrity friends, he didn't see connection. He saw name-dropping disguised as closeness. According to his breakdown, every promo image followed the same formula: polished, posed, and packed with performance. Once you hear his take, those pictures don't look cozy anymore. They look calculated. So where does this leave things? Piers just unleashed one of his sharpest attacks yet, live on air. He branded the show unwatchable, tore apart the visuals, and questioned the whole message behind them. Now Meghan has two options: fire back or stay silent. If she claps back, she fuels the story. More attention, more headlines, more Piers. But if she stays quiet, the criticism just lingers. Millions already heard him say he couldn't stomach the show, and millions saw him question her authenticity. That kind of noise doesn't fade easy. Meanwhile, Piers walks away in full control. He's positioned himself as the one voice saying what others won't. And that's what worries Meghan's supporters, because he's not slowing down. He runs Piers Morgan uncensored online now, free from TV execs or filters, total freedom. That means every new project, interview, or photo she releases could face the same kind of brutal breakdown. He's not a temporary critic anymore. He's built himself into a permanent watchdog over the Sussex brand. And yeah, people accuse him of being obsessed with Meghan Markle. That label follows him everywhere. Maybe there's truth to it. He clearly hasn't let it go and probably never will. But here's the twist. Time keeps proving some of his points. He always said ambition drives her moves. That image matters more than loyalty, and that status stays the main goal. Whether people agree or not, this new Netflix project reinforces every belief he's been shouting for years. To Piers' love, Meghan isn't about cooking. It's a glossy symbol of what he's been warning about. Too much presentation, not enough reality. Every shot screams control. Every smile feels rehearsed. In his eyes, it's someone trying to sell relatable while standing in a picture-perfect set surrounded by a production team. That doesn't mean Meghan's done. She's still got power, connections, and global reach. She can recover. But here's the real problem: trust. Once someone who actually knew her says he couldn't even watch 10 minutes of her being herself, that doubt sticks. Piers went all in, exposing the photos, ripping into the show, and daring to question the image she's built. Whether people love him or hate him, his words have cracked something real. Because once that illusion breaks, rebuilding it, that's a whole different battle.